Hi everybody, Erica Serwin here, and today my training is all about the host code. I get lots of questions about the host code, how to use it, why should we use it, what can we do with it. So I have planned a whole training around it and why I think it's powerful in your business. The host code is relatively new in our business, maybe just a few years, and it's kind of evolved as our businesses take more of an online turn. And I don't mean that as being an online demonstrator. I mean customers placing their orders online. A lot of my local customers prefer to put their order in online because they have control of when they put it in and when they get it. So the host code is crucial for us, even with our local businesses and our local customers. So let's go ahead and get started. The power of the hostess code, why and how to use it. So I went over to the Stampin' Up website and I looked for an official definition. And according to Stampin' Up, a host code is an 8-character code that lets customers add an order they place through the online store or your DBWS to a workshop order. A host code can increase the merchandise total of a workshop, which means more Stampin' rewards for the host. So originally, the host code, the original design behind the host code is to let online customers place an order for a host. So when you have a workshop, your host can add outside orders to a party total. So if we were invited to, say, I don't know, a 31 party and we couldn't go, but we wanted to order something to help our friend out, we would go to that website and put in our order and it would be connected to her party. Well, that's exactly what our host code is. In, basic definition, it's the host's the girl that's hosting the party, the man, the woman, whoever's hosting your workshop, it's the code assigned to their workshop. However, that's not the only way to use a host code. As a demonstrator, there are lots of ways for us to use it to not only offset our business cost, but to reward our customers. And rewarding our customers is so important, and I have found that using my Stampin' rewards, my host rewards, has been huge in helping me reward my customers. Before we get to that though, let's talk about where do you find the host code. If you're a new demonstrator, or maybe you've been a hobbyist and you're starting to entertain the idea of doing this as a business, let me show you where you find the host code. The first thing you do is you log in to the demonstrator website and you open a workshop order. You start a workshop order. And on the very first screen, here it is, you'll see it, you choose the host. Then there's a button right here that you click, and that's going to generate that code. And right there is your host code. Now, if you've forgotten to assign a host code, or maybe you didn't think you needed one, but you want to go back and add one, always just click right here, order information, and it'll take you right back to this screen and you can get that host code. And once that host code is assigned to this workshop order, that's it. That'll be the code for this until you close it. Now, a host code can only be used on a customer order on the customer page. You can't use a host code on a demonstrator order, and if you're putting in an order for a customer on the demonstrator page, once you've logged in, it's under the workshop order, you can't use a host code there either. And I'm gonna talk to you about that a little bit in a little while. But just remember, a host code, once it's generated on the demonstrator side, can only be used over on the customer side as a customer order. So how does your customer use that host code? Well, they put their order in, and when they have signed in and they go to their, I believe we call it shopping bag or your cart, down here, here's the box. I know you guys have seen it, host code right there. And you might want to create this screenshot right here for your customers. Just go over to sign in yourself as a customer and create a fake order. Like you're going to see, I'm going to order the Big Shot. just take a screenshot here and send it to them so you can point to them so they know exactly where to enter that host code. Some of our customers really have trouble with that, and so we need to have a visual for them. Now, Stampin' Up! Has really improved this process, because if they don't enter a host code, this is going to pop up. And it's going to ask them, do you have a host code? So if they forgot that they were supposed to put the host code in, which it happens, right? Or they didn't see it, that this is going to it's not going to let them get to the payment screen without them saying either, yes, I have a hostess code, or no, I don't. So if they submit an order without a hostess code, you can call Stampin' Up! And have them apply that code. So I always think it's funny when a customer said they forgot to put the host code in, because they weren't able to get past this screen without clicking yes or no. But I know sometimes it's confusing for customers. So luckily Stampin' Up! Lets us call and apply that hostess code to that order if we need to. Now, keeping up with your host codes. This is what I do. I have a lot of host codes open at one time. So on my MacBook, I can create a little, it's called, notes. It's like a little Post-it note that stays up on your desktop. If you don't have that option, just create a Word document that you have saved somewhere with your host codes in it. At the beginning of each month, I open the workshops for each of my events, and I grab the codes from each one and add it to a note on my desktop. So you can see here all my Stamp Club host codes. Then here's my card class, my Facebook Friday host code, my new catalog, and my BOGO. So whenever a customer emails me, what's the host code? I've lost the email. You quickly can refer to it. You don't have to go back in and look at your orders and where is that host code? I don't know. Which code did we use for that? Just keep a little list going on your computer. In every email that you send regarding that event, so maybe it's a workshop or it's a class when they've RSVP'd, include the host code and a link to your online store, and encourage them that if they want to put their order in ahead of time, they can do it there. Also, encourage them to share it with their friends. If it's a hostess, she's definitely going to want to share those host codes with her friends so she can get those outside orders. So what else can a host code do for you? Well, it can do a whole lot, and you need to set one up for all your events. Here are the events that I use most frequently with my host code. Stamp Club, that's a hostess club. Card class, a BOGO event, a kit night, Facebook Live, new catalog, and retreat. So I'm going to go through each one of those. Now my Stamp Club is my hostess club. That's the event I do every month, and I have a group of people who have committed to being a hostess each month, and they all have committed to putting an order in for that hostess. So maybe I have 6 people and we go 6 months, and they take turns getting the stamp rewards. So if you have one of these, create a host code each month and encourage your members to put their orders in online. Sometimes my customers don't want to wait until the night of the party or the night of the Stamp Club. They maybe, like, the new catalog has come out on September 5th and our Stamp Club isn't until September 20th, but they want to order right now. So if I give them that host code, they can put their order in today on the 5th, and it will be applied to that hostess still on the 20th. It also allows them to get their order shipped directly to them, and they don't have to come to your house or her house to get their orders. It kind of speeds up the process. Also, encourage your monthly hostess to share that code with outside friends and family. She can email it to her mom, to her best friend who lives in Alaska, or whatever, and those people can place an order and have it shipped to them, even if they live far away in the United States. It has to be, or within your own country. It has to be within your own country. But maybe they live 2,000 miles away. They can still order, have it shipped directly to them, and it's applied to her workshop total, and that gets her more Stampin' Rewards. All right, card class. This is my monthly class. You guys probably have these too, your regular monthly class. Mine is the second Thursday of every month, and it is $15 or free with a purchase. And most of my ladies want it free with a purchase, right? Because they're going to get more bang for their buck if they do that. That's what we want them to do. So I set that hostess code up at the beginning of the month, and whenever they RSVP, I share it with them in case they want to put their order in early. Also, sometimes I will let people who can't come, I will make the cards for them and send them those completed cards. They have to put their order in online using that host code by whatever deadline. I usually say the 3 days before, so that I have, when I cut for the class, I'm also going to cut for their cards also. But a lot of times that has made a lot of my customers happy when they're out of town or they can't come and they hate to miss card class. I give them that host code, let them put that order in, and when I pull up that order to input the people who were there at the class, I can see who's ordered online, and those are the people that I will send the cards to. The only way to do this is to sign up under the customer site. Oh, so if your customers at the class want their orders shipped directly to them, I mentioned this earlier, the only way to do that is for you to go over on the customer side and either create an account for them or use the account that they already have. They'll have to share it with you, and use the host code. There's no way to use the host code over on the demonstrator page. We have the option on the demonstrator page to put in a customer order, but we can't use the host code there. So if you have a customer, and I get this a lot, if you have a customer who wants you to put the order in for them and have it shipped to them, but you also need it to use the host code, you're going to have to explain to them that you have to create a customer account for them. And I always create something kind of generic, so whatever their email is, and then I create a generic name like, Stamp 5 or something, and I share that with them. It's not a secret. I'm not keeping it a secret, but I'm creating an account for them on the customer side, because that's the only way you're going to be able to have it shipped to them and to use the host code if they're not willing to put that order in themselves. You can use, so why would you want the host, what do you need the hostess code for when it's just a class? Well, they're getting those cards for free. They're coming to the class and making cards for free with their order. So how are you going to replenish your card stock and your ribbon and your embellishments? Those Stampin' Rewards. If you had $250 worth of orders and they all are on that host code, you're going to have plenty of Stampin' Rewards to replenish your supply for next month. It's a great, I think it's really a win-win situation for everybody. You're getting your sales, you're getting your instant income and your volume rebate, plus you're getting the Stampin' Rewards so that you don't have to pay for all the materials that they used. And they love it because they're getting everything, all their cards for free, plus they're getting their order. So it's really a good use of Stampin' Rewards when there's not a hostess. This host code does not have to be used solely for hostess. It can be used for you because you are the host of that card class. All right, so next is a BOGO sale. Whenever I have my BOGO sales, which is just usually in June, I time it around a new catalog. And I get all my retired stuff and I price it at full price. And they come and shop all my stuff and they get it for free with an equal order from the catalog. So I put their orders in using that host code. I could put them all in together and they have to come back to pick them up at my house, or like I mentioned before, I can go over to the customer side and use their customer account and use that host code. This is a great way to get new product in your hand as a demonstrator. Sometimes we can't afford to order a bunch of stuff from the new catalog, even though we need it for our business. This is a great way to generate some Stampin' Rewards for yourself. They're getting free retired product and their order. So I think it's a pretty safe bet that they're going to be spending quite a bit and earning you some Stampin' Rewards to replenish all those stamps that just retired. All right, our next event for host code is a retreat. When you host a retreat, you can give everyone who's registered a host code you've assigned to that event. If they need to order things like adhesive or kits, they can use that host code. I always offer a little reward if they're going to use the host code by, a week out, so they'll have it in time for the retreat. I tell them there'll be a little extra goodie waiting for them at their table. Usually it's a pack of dimensionals or a pack of buttons, just something. I've used those Stampin' Rewards when I've ordered everything I need for the retreat for them as a thank you for putting in that order. All right, what about a kit night, you guys? Having a kit night is a great event. You pick one of the kits, and everyone who's coming is going to have a kit waiting for them. So you might have a hostess, or it might just be you who's hosting it. And once you have a firm number, maybe you have 10 people who have paid you ahead of time, you're going to go over, and first you open up a workshop like I showed you at the beginning, and get the host code. Then you go over to the Stampin' Up! Customer side and sign in as a customer yourself. You're the customer. And you order those 10 kits and enter that host code and have them shipped, close out the order. Then that night, anybody else who wants to order, we can add on to that workshop because it's been left open. We didn't close it when we ordered those kits. And the hostess can benefit from all of those orders. So that's a great way to order those kits ahead of time, keeping the order open to add on any more orders you have that night. Now, this is my favorite way right now to use the host code during Facebook Live. Facebook Live has really caused my business to explode and grow in ways that I could not have imagined. And when I first started, I didn't really see any direct result from it as far as sales go. So then I decided to start looking at it like a class. And I offer the make and takes free with a minimum order, just like I do at my local card class. So every Friday, I have a code. You can see it there in the photo of the video. It's also on the PDF that I type up for them and over on my blog. And if they use that host code within 4 days, I always give them a deadline. They have 4 days to put that order in. I can't leave it open forever. But if they put their order in by the deadline using that host code, then I will send them the make and takes from my Facebook Live for free. And I can ship those make and takes in a flat envelope for $1.21. I make sure I don't use any bumpy things like clips or buttons, but most everything else can be squished down flat into just a flat large envelope. So it only costs me $1.21 to mail it. And then I use those host rewards, those Stampin' Rewards from that code there to replenish the cardstock and ribbon, whatever it is I use to mail it to them. This has been really, really big for my business, and I really look at it as a weekly class. I'm teaching them things, and they are putting in their order to get their make and takes for free. This is what it looks like when I send them the make and takes. It always thanks them for placing their Facebook Friday order, and a link back to the video. All right, another really successful way I've used the host code is for a new catalog. When a new catalog comes out, I print out all my wish lists and everything that goes in it, but I also create a coupon, and it's got a special host code assigned to it, and I put a deadline on it. I always put about 20 days after the catalog goes live, and if they put their order in and use that host code, I'm going to send them an embellishment, and I just go in on that deadline and look to see how many orders I have. Maybe I have 10 orders, and maybe I have, I don't know, let's say $50 in Stampin' Rewards. Then I say, okay, I can get everybody something for $5. I use all the Stampin' Rewards divided by however many people have ordered, and I order them something using those Stampin' Rewards. This has been very, very successful for me. And honestly, the last 2 times I've done a coupon, I've had so many Stampin' Rewards, I was able to order each of them 2 different embellishments. You'll see one here in just a little while. People really respond well to this. Now you do, if you have to mail them out, you're going to lose a little bit of money there on shipping, but I find that the cost of shipping is minimal compared to what I'm making in volume rebate and instant income. Sometimes you can use a hostess code when you need a boost in your business. Sometimes when you're trying to hit a goal or a sales threshold, you can use a host code to get a boost. So I put this picture out one time. I was really close. I can't remember. I was really close to some kind of goal. And I said, anybody who places a $30 order between now and Friday using this hostess code is going to get a pack of the Glimmer enamel dots. And people respond to that really, really well too. Sometimes people need a carrot dangled to get their order in. They want to order and they just haven't gotten around to it. But so seeing something like this might entice them to go ahead and get that order in. I also like to set up a host code when Stampin' Up! Has a promotion. The free shipping that they did this last year was a really big event for me. I quickly assigned a host code to that, and I typed up a little bit for them, and I said that if they had to use the host code, and when they did, if they spent $25, they got a free tutorial PDF. And if they spent $50, I'd send them a embellishment. And then we had those hostess stamp sets. I had a ton of them, Mary pattern stamp set, and I was able to offer those to anybody who spent over $100. So I was collecting Stampin' Rewards. Again, I could use that to buy them their free embellishments, and just kind of piggybacking on Stampin' Up's one day free shipping. It really helped me to kind of pull a couple more orders in that may not have happened otherwise. Host code rewards really were designed in a way to help our hostess, but I think they're really helping us as demonstrators not only offset that cost, but to reward our customers. And when we reward our customers, they become loyal customers, and they can see your gratification, and they want to come back to you. They know that they're appreciated. So use those Stampin' Rewards to replenish anything that you use to reward your customers. So how about a few frequently asked questions about the host code? How long will the host code last? How long will that workshop stay open? Stampin' Up! Tells us it's 30 days, but from my experience, I can tell you it's a lot longer than that. I've also read that as long as you go in and modify the order in some way, it'll stay open for 30 days past that date. I can tell you I've never had a host code disappear, a workshop just disappear because it had been too long. But Stampin' Up's official word on that is 30 days, but I can attest to you that it is longer than that. Who can use a host code? Anybody. You can use a hostess code as a customer. It's okay that you're a demonstrator. You can still go in as a customer and place an order like we talked about with the kits. You can use a hostess code. Any customer can use a hostess code. What if my customer forgets to add the host code? Well, I showed you in the beginning, that's kind of hard to do now. They get a little warning if they forget. But if they still submit that order without that host code, just call 1-800-STAMP-UP and tell them your customer forgot to use the host code and you would like to apply a host code to an order. Have the order number ready and the host code number ready, and they will do it really quickly. I do this a lot. I get this quite a bit from my customers. How many host codes can you have open at once? I don't know what the answer to that is, but I can tell you I have 7, 8, sometimes 9 open at a time. So I don't think there's a limit to that. And when do the orders, well, that should say ship, when do the orders on a host code ship? I don't know what autocorrect did there. If a customer is putting in their own order, or you're putting in an order for a customer and they use a host code and they submit their order, it's going to ship then. It's done. It's submitted. It's going to go through picking and ship. It is not going to be held until the workshop is closed. That's the beauty for some of our customers who really want their order quickly and early, because as soon as they submit it, it is done. It's closed, and Stampin' Up! Is processing it. They don't have to wait for the host or for you to close that workshop. Now, with all of this being said, there's something powerful about just saying thank you. You know, rewarding them with embellishments and PDFs and adhesive. That's great. Everybody loves that. But we all really, really love a thank you. Don't forget to thank your customers when you use a hostess code. I always like to put a little fun tag with their make and takes or their freebie that I'm sending them because I really want them to know that they mean a lot to me and their order means a lot to me. Rewarding your customers is important. Even if they don't use a special host code, they deserve to be thanked, right? Every single order deserves a thank you. That's why we send thank you cards. Thank you card is the backbone of your business, creating those loyal customers who are going to come back. Don't forget about the thank you card, regardless of host codes and rewards. Don't forget to thank them. Using your Stampin' Rewards should be used from time to time to reward them for their loyalty. You don't want to constantly be offering a freebie, but it's a great way to say thank you. And what I have found is that my customers think I'm being super generous. They think I am, spending all this money on them, when in reality it was free when I used the Stampin' Rewards. So I always think that's cute when they really are like, you're so generous. But it just goes to show how much they appreciate being appreciated. Don't overuse that host code. Offer rewards like thank you card, thank you tags, and free PDF tutorials as a way to reward them without spending money. If you train them to expect something free every time they order, that's going to get really old. So make sure that you don't overuse that host code. The host code has the power to help you grow your customer base and make them happy and loyal. Use it every chance you get. Now, you guys, my make and takes today are going to be showing you projects that you can use to reward your customers also. So don't forget that we make handmade products, and those are powerful too. All right, you guys, I hope you learned a lot. Let me know if you have questions and start using those host codes. Bye.